Hello students, I am Professor Priyanka and I welcome you all for our 6th session based on JavaScript. We are first concentrating on the basic concepts of JavaScript before moving to the actual advanced JavaScript. In the last session, we saw different examples on pre, oblique post, increment and decrement operators. Later, we discuss what is a function and what role it plays in JavaScript. We saw why it is useful to create a function. We also studied few built-in functions of JavaScript and which function to use for which condition or situation, that also we saw. We also discussed about the returning values from a functions. Later, we saw how to store these returned values from a function into a variable. I hope you remember this point, because if there is a function which is returning some value, we try to catch that value and store into a variable to avoid the loss of the data which we get it from the returning values of a function. Right? We will again see this today. Then I had also included the screenshot of the output of all the built-in functions. So if we use any particular function, how it will give output, that we saw. Then these built-in functions are previously defined by the JavaScript. That is why they are called as built-in functions. Means the task what they have to perform is already defined by the JavaScript. That is why it is called as the built-in or inbuilt functions. Right? Now suppose we want to create a function which has to perform a particular task, but as per the user's requirement. Now if this is the case, it cannot be achieved by using simply built-in functions. Right? So this can be achieved by creating user defined functions. So today we will be discussing about the how to create user defined functions. Means if I have got to create some particular functions which will be performing some tasks, but it will be other than the built-in function. So for that condition, I have to use user defined function which will perform task according to the user's requirement. Right? So these are the contents, and today we will be focusing on user defined functions. We will see how to create an actual function. We will also see event handling. Different events are there and how it is handled by JavaScript, that we will see. And then we'll see decision making statements. So let us start. So user defined functions. Now before moving to the user defined function, again we will quickly revise what a function is. So in the last session we have already seen what a function is. So let us see again what is given here. A function in any scripting and programming language is a small part of a program, right, that we require again and again. Obviously, why we have designed functions? If there is a particular task which we want to perform it again and again, so instead of writing that particular code of lines again and again, what we make a function and simply call that function. So this makes our program smaller, right? And we can also say that a function is a sub-program designed to perform a particular task. Yes, right? And functions can be called either by an event or simply by giving a call to that function. Now this line is very important. Now okay, we have seen what is the use of function. Now how to use a function. So this function has got two parts. A function has to be first defined, and after defining what task it has to do, we need to give a call to that function. Then and then only it will perform that particular task. So this calling of a function can be done by two things. either we simply call that function in our code, or it can be called by an event. For example, in my web page there is a button called as add, and when I will click on this add button, my function has to be called. So this is the event which is calling the function. So which event I am talking about? Of clicking a button, right? And there are few more events which we'll be looking into in details in today's lecture, right? So I hope this part is clear. So now we will see how to actually define a function. So to define a function, there is a keyword called as function. You can see it is shown in the blue color. We have seen how to declare a variable, remember? So if you want to declare a variable, what is the keyword? Small var. Similarly, to declare a function, we need to use the keyword function, then space and function name, where space variable name, same likewise function keyword space function name, and after the function name there has to be round bracket opening and closing. Now you can keep this bracket opening and closing parenthesis blank, or you can pass some arguments which are to be separated by a comma. So here you can see function name, and in bracket I have written argument 1 comma argument 2. Now these are the values to be passed to the function for further processing. We will see in details what exactly these arguments means. For now, just concentrate how the syntax to declare a function is. So keyword function space the function name and round bracket. So this could be blank, or you can pass comma separated arguments. Okay. And now to define a function. Define means what? What work it has to perform. So this work will be some few lines of code. Agree? So this has to be written in the curly braces. Open curly braces. Write down the statements what it has to perform, and after completing the task we have to close it by curly braces. Right? Now rules for function name are same as the variable name. We have already seen some rules for naming a variable. Same rules are to be applied for a function name, right? So you can quickly go to the rules and revise what are the rules to declare a variable as well as function. Both are same. So I hope this part is clear. Again, if you want to declare a function or create a function, keyword that is function space the function name, round bracket open, round bracket close. If there is no argument, if there are arguments, you have to mention in the bracket itself by comma separation, and in the curly braces you have to actually mention what work it has to do. So it will be some statements block. Okay, so let us move to the next slide. So now here I have given a small code. Now what is given? See, doc type HTML head title. Now we have already seen that a script could be written in a head section or in a body section, or you can write in both. Now here I have taken the last option, that I have written the script in both part. Now in the head section where I have written the script, I am defining the function. Defining means what? What work it has to perform, that I am giving. And in the body section you can see after the h1 tag I have used the script tag again because I want to call the function now. Understand the difference? In the head section I have simply defined the function, what work it will perform. But until and unless a function is called, it will not perform its task, right? So in the body section I am calling the function. So let us see first the definition of the function. So in the head section, concentrate script language equal to JavaScript. Now we have seen the syntax for creating a function. What is the syntax? Keyword that is function space the function name and round bracket open, round bracket close if there are no arguments. So here for our function there is no argument, that is why it is blank. and in the curly braces, opening and closing, and in the middle part you have to write what work it has to perform. So my function name is show. So my function name is show, and I want it to perform a task that it will simply display a message welcome to function. So now here I am making use of the inbuilt function of JavaScript, that is alert welcome to function. So when it will reach to this show function, what will happen? An alert window will open and it will display welcome to a function. Right? Now we have seen if a function is defined, it has to be called. Then only it will perform its task. Even if you write 100 of functions or define 100 of functions and you don't call them, so these functions are of no use, right? So now if I have define a function show, I have to call that function. So in the body section you can see first body space bg color equal to green. This is nothing, I have simply applied a green color, it is not mandatory. And then on the next line it is h1 use of function in JavaScript, h1 tag. So you can see use of function in JavaScript will be displayed on my window with h1 heading size, right? And on next line I am again using a script. So in this script I am simply calling the function. You can see in the comment I have written calling of a function. So how to call a function? Now to call a function you have to call it by its name. And remember JavaScript is case sensitive. So you can see SHOW is small, it is same as like it is defined, right? And round bracket open close and semicolon is very important to indicate that the end of the statement, right? So while defining you can see there is no semicolon because it is not yet finished, right? After show there is a curly braces opening and closing, and in between there are some particular task it has to perform. That is why you can see there is no semicolon while declaring a function or defining a function. And here I am simply calling it. So after calling it my work is done, that is why semicolon is there. Script is ended and body. So first tell me where the cursor will go and what will be printed in the output. Just tell me. See, first it will go to the head section, title section. So function program will be displayed in the title bar. Then it will go to the script, and in the script it will see that a function is defined. But it will not print or show welcome to function here in the head section. It will see here only defining part is there, no calling part is there. So it will not do anything, right? It will go to the body section, it will see bg color green, so it will have a background color green. Then new line what will happen, use of function in JavaScript, that will be displayed in a h1 heading, and here in the script it has seen that a function is called. So now when show is called it will go to the definition and it will see what work it has to perform. So what work it has to perform, a single line is given that alert welcome to function. So simply a alert box will be displayed and in that message will be welcome to a function. So we will see what output it will have. So as we have discussed, first the title is printed, function program, then it went to body bg color, then it had applied green color, then h1 use of function in JavaScript, and it saw show function is called. So it again went to the head section script and alert welcome to function is given. So an alert window was given with the OK button, and what message we had given, welcome to function. So that is printed. So this is how a function is defined and called. So understand, not only defining a function is important, but also calling is important. If you define a function and you don't call it, it will be never called. You have to call it either by calling a function. So here we had seen we have called a function by giving its name in the code. And what is the second method to call a function? By some event handling. So we will see what exactly an event handling is. Right. So let us move to the next slide. So this is event handling. So what is the event handling? See, JavaScript is an event driven language. Means you can run the scripts through events. That is why it is called as event driven language. An event is an action done by the user on an application. Means event are some actions which are done by the user. So this action could be clicking of mouse, releasing the key of mouse, pressing the keyboard keys, scrolling the mouse, closing the windows. These are some events which we generally perform, right? So these events can be handled by this JavaScript. So JavaScript's interaction with HTML is handled through events that occur when user or browser manipulates the page. Means whenever you are viewing a web page and you are performing these events. So this JavaScript interacts with HTML and handles them, right? We'll see how it handles. So when the page load, it is called as an event. Means whenever you are double clicking a web page and that page is loading, right, in a browser, so that is also an event. When the user clicks a button, it is also an event, as we have discussed earlier. For example, events can include like pressing any key from the keyboard, closing the window. You can also resize the window, yes, minimize window, maximize window. So these are some examples of events. JavaScript lets you execute a code when events are detected. Means you can call a script when such type of events are occurred. See students, simply using HTML events are not handled. For that we require JavaScript. So we have to use JavaScript and HTML hand in hand to perform this particular, what we can say, our website interactive, right? It is becoming interactive. Why? Because it is performing its task based on the user's actions, right? So this is how we are trying to make our website interactive, alive, dynamic, right? You can respond to any event using an event handler. Now this is very, very important. Now what is an event handler? So you can say this event handler is just a function that is called. We have seen we can define a function and we have to call it. So this event handlers is a function which gets called when an event occurs, right? So suppose you are clicking a mouse, but clicking a mouse key or a keyboard key, one event handler will call. If you are pressing a key of a keyboard, another event handler. So for particular each and every event there is a separate event handler, right? We will see what is all about the event handler in the next slide. This event handler may cause button to close windows, message to be displayed to the user, or data to be validated, and virtually any other type of response. So this event handler is called based on the types of events done by the user. So here in the tabular format you can see what are the different event handlers based on different events. Now there are basically two types of events. These events are generally made from by using a mouse or by using a keyboard. So using a mouse you can perform 4 different events. On mouse out. When user moves the mouse away from an element. Suppose there is a button on my form and I want to call a function when my mouse is moved out from that button. Understand, there is a button, generally we click a button, but now here is the event on mouse out. मतलब मेरा माउस अगर कोई एलिमेंट से बाहर चला जाता है तो मुझे एक फंक्शन बुलाना है. अंडरस्टैंड. सेकेंड फंक्शन क्या है? ऑन क्लिक. सो यू कैन क्लिक द माउस बटन on some element. Suppose there is an image and when my mouse is pointing to that image, but when I will click then only some function has to be called. So this is on click function or on click event. Now third, on mouse over. Now here this is exactly opposite to on mouse out. When user moves the mouse over an element. पहला क्या था, एलिमेंट के बाहर निकले तो कोई फंक्शन बुलाओ. दूसरा क्या था, कोई एलिमेंट पे जाके क्लिक करो तो दूसरा फंक्शन बुलाओ. और तीसरा इवेंट क्या है, ऑन माउस ओवर, मतलब एक एलिमेंट के ऊपर बाहर से माउस पॉइंटर लाके उस पे लाके छोड़ने का, उसको बोलते हैं ऑन माउस ओवर. एंड थर्ड क्या है, ऑन माउस अप. अप मतलब क्या है, उस एलिमेंट पे जाके माउस के बटन ऑलरेडी क्लिक्ड है एंड उस एलिमेंट पे जाके आपने माउस बटन को छोड़ दिया है, दैट इज माउस अप. डोंट गेट कन्फ्यूज ऑन माउस ओवर एंड माउस अप. माउस ऑन माउस ओवर मतलब सिर्फ आपको माउस पॉइंटर उस एलिमेंट पे लाके छोड़ देना है, देर इज नो क्लिकिंग ऑफ एनी बटन. बट ऑन माउस अप मतलब आपका बटन ऑलरेडी क्लिक्ड है, राइट आपका बटन ऑलरेडी क्लिक्ड है और आप ड्रैग करके कोई एलिमेंट पे जाके उस बटन को छोड़ रहे हैं, सो दैट इवेंट इज ऑन माउस अप. सो देयर आर सच 4 events which are handled based on the mouse activity, right? And we'll see now keyboard events. So there are 2 types of keyboard events. Obviously keyboard के क्या 2 events कर सकते हैं, either you can press a key or you can release a key. So these are the 2 events which are handled, right? So on key down मतलब आपने कोई की को प्रेस किया तो कुछ फंक्शन को बुलाना है, हाँ. एंड कोई की को प्रेस्ड जो ऑलरेडी है उसको छोड़ दिया तो दूसरे फंक्शन को बुलाना है. अंडरस्टैंड. कीबोर्ड के सिर्फ 2 इवेंट्स है, इधर यू कैन प्रेस अ की और यू कैन रिलीज अ की. सो इफ यू वांट टू call a function based on your key press, so you can use this event handler, that is on key down. And if you want to call a function when your key is already pressed and when it is released, मतलब आपका हाथ उठाते हो वो की प्रेस से तो आपको कोई दूसरा फंक्शन बुलाना है. सो दिस आर द 2 events of a keyboard. So total there are 6 events handlers, huh? On mouse out, on click, on mouse over. You can see the camel case here. I hope you remember what hint I had given you. On mouse up, on key down and on key up. So these are the different event handlers which get called based on the activity performed by the user, right? So let us move to the next slide. So now very important topic, that is decision making statements. So there is a flow chart I have given to understand what exactly it means. See, using decision control statements we can control the flow of program in such a way so that it executes certain statements based on the outcome of a condition. अभी अब तक हमने देखा है कि हम जितना भी स्टेटमेंट्स देते हैं वो एक एक करके वर्क करता है. एग्री. उसने ऐसा कभी याद आया क्या उसने कहीं इधर से उधर जंप किया है? until and unless we are talking about function calling. But have we checked any sort of condition and based on the condition it has jumped from a single statement to another? No, we haven't seen this. Now we will be making some decisions and on this decision a particular part of program is executed and a particular part of program is excluded based on the condition, right? So we will see how exactly a flow of program is there. पहले क्या होता है, start button is there. Okay, just imagine starting of your program. So it will execute some part of lines. सपोज मुझे चेक करना है कि मेरा एज मैंने जो इनपुट किया है इन माई टेक्स्ट बॉक्स, इज इट ग्रेटर देन 18 और नो. सो सपोज इट इज ग्रेटर देन 18 और इक्वल टू 18, I am valid to get a license. And suppose my age is less than 18 आई कैनॉट गेट द व्हाट लाइसेंस. सो ये दो मैसेज मुझे डिस्प्ले करने हैं बेस्ड ऑन द कंडीशन. Did you get my point? What I have to do, I have to write a program which will take an age from the user, and based on the input I have to check the condition whether I can get a valid license or no, and accordingly I have to display the message. See, अभी ये जो प्रोग्राम है ऐसा होगा क्या कि मेरे दोनों मैसेज प्रिंट हो गए कि यू कैन गेट अ लाइसेंस एंड यू कैनॉट गेट अ लाइसेंस? नो. At a time only single condition will be true. Either my age will be greater than or equal to 18 or it will be less than 18. Right? ऐसा हो सकता है कि दोनों चलेगा? नहीं. So for making such type of decision where you have to check some particular condition, you need to use the decision making statements. So we will see there are two types of decision making statements right now. If statement and if else statement. We will see what exactly. So first concentrate on the flow chart. So suppose start किया है हमने प्रोग्राम, राइट? सो एक उसने स्टेटमेंट क्या किए, एग्जीक्यूट किए. अभी वो चेक करना है कि मैंने जो एज डाला है वो 18 के लेस है या 18 इक्वल टू है एंड ग्रेटर है. सो इफ माई कंडीशन इज ट्रू इट विल गो टू इफ. इफ एज इज ग्रेटर देन और इक्वल टू 18, ये मेरा इफ कंडीशन है. तो अगर वो ट्रू आया तो वो इफ ब्लॉक एग्जीक्यूट करेगा. अगर वो फॉल्स आया तो एल्स ब्लॉक एग्जीक्यूट करेगा. दिस इज हाउ इट वर्क्स, राइट? वी विल सी विथ एन एग्जाम्पल. सो इफ स्टेटमेंट कब यूज करना है एंड इफ एल्स स्टेटमेंट कब यूज करना है, वी विल सी. नाउ दिस if the conditional expression given in the parenthesis is true. if statement कैसे लिखते हैं हम देखेंगे. if and bracket में आप कुछ condition देते हैं. so suppose we will take the age. if age is greater than and equal to 18 and मैंने age enter किया है 20. so suppose the condition given in the parenthesis is true, then the statement within the block will be executed, right? सो अगर मेरे इफ स्टेटमेंट में कुछ ब्लॉक ऑफ कोड है, सपोज मेरा मैसेज है यू आर एलिजिबल फॉर अ लाइसेंस, तो ये प्रिंट होगा कब? जब मेरा एज क्या है, ग्रेटर देन और इक्वल टू 18 है. सो मेरा एज अभी मैंने क्या दिया, 20 दिया, तो ये प्रिंट होगा क्या? हाँ, ये प्रिंट होगा. बट इफ द कंडीशनल एक्सप्रेशन इवैल्यूएट्स टू फॉल्स, नाउ दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, देन द स्टेटमेंट in the if condition will not be executed, right? So note that if the statement block constitutes a single statement, then drawing curly brackets is optional. Okay, now this is some point they have mentioned. I'll tell. First हम syntax देखते हैं कैसा है. if is the keyword and in bracket, round bracket, you give the condition. so if age is greater than or equal to 18, ये हमारी condition है. and in the curly braces you have to mention what all task it has to perform. so क्या देंगे हम? alert you are eligible for license, ये मेरा मैसेज है, ठीक है. एंड एज मैंने क्या दिया पहले, 20, तो मेरा आउटपुट में क्या आएगा? you are eligible for license, right? suppose वापस मैंने प्रोग्राम रन किया and now this time I give my age as 15. so now what will happen? if age is greater than or equal to 18 will become false. so अगर false आया तो क्या होता है? if के नीचे जो भी ब्रैकेट में स्टेटमेंट दिए हैं वो एग्जीक्यूट नहीं होते हैं, राइट? तो दिस इज द यूज ऑफ इफ स्टेटमेंट. नाउ फॉर इफ उसने मुझे ये सोल्यूशन तो बताया कि मेरा अगर एज ग्रेटर देन 18 और इक्वल टू 18 है तो मुझे लाइसेंस मिलेगा. बट उसने ऐसा कुछ भी मुझे बताया नहीं. नो सोल्यूशन दैट मुझे मेरा एज अगर कम है तो क्या है ना. उसने सिर्फ क्या बताया, अगर आपका ग्रेटर देन और इक्वल टू 18 है तो मुझे लाइसेंस मिलेगा. ये डिस्प्ले हो रहा है मैसेज. बट मेरा अगर एज कम है तो क्या, तो वो कुछ भी नहीं दिया है. तो ऐसे कंडीशन में आपको एल्स यूज़ करना पड़ता है, जहाँ कि आपको अगर एक कंडीशन ट्रू नहीं हो रही है तो फॉल्स हो गई तो क्या करना है वो बताएगा, राइट? सो दैट टाइम वी यूज if else statement. First we will see the program how if statement works. So यहाँ पे देखो क्या दिया है program, head section, some title is given, body, some script. Now in the script you can see variable a comma b, two variables are used, and see there is a semicolon after b. It is not here printed but it is there. Okay, a equal to prompt enter a number. Now I am asking some particular number from user, right? So he has given some number, and that variable, sorry, that number which is written by the function I am storing in a. Remember, this prompt function is returning that value and I am catching and storing in the variable a. Now b equal to parseInt a. Since the number which is given in the prompt, though it is a number, it will be treated as a string. So to convert the string into a number, we use parseInt. I hope you remember this input is converted into a number data type, right? Now I have to check whether the number I have inputted is a zero number or not. So what I am checking, if b equal to 0, मतलब मैंने जो नंबर इनपुट किया है वो ज़ीरो है या नहीं देखना है. तो मैंने क्या दिया है कंडीशन, इफ़ b इक्वल टू 0, तो इट विल चेक. सपोज आई हैव गिवन एज नंबर 5, so it will check 5 equal to 0. Yes, is it? No. So it won't go to the curly braces, it won't go inside the curly braces. Why? Because the condition is false. So ये कुछ भी प्रिंट नहीं करेगा, nothing will be printed. Understood? Now second case, suppose I have inputted 0. Now if 0 equal to 0, is it true? Yes. So if it is true, then only it will go to the curly braces and it will check what work it has to do. So alert number entered is 0. So this will be printed, right? So now if else we will see. Now this if else very important, we have already seen. If the conditional expression evaluates to true, then the true block statements will be executed. मतलब if condition अगर true है तो if के अंदर जो लिखा है वो execute होगा, एंड अगर if कंडीशन फॉल्स आई तो वो चला जाएगा else में और else का सारा एग्जीक्यूट कर देगा, राइट? सो इट विल नेवर हैपन कि if में का भी स्टेटमेंट्स एग्जीक्यूट हो गए और else के भी स्टेटमेंट एग्जीक्यूट हो गए. दोनों में से कोई भी एक स्टेटमेंट एग्जीक्यूट होगा और उसके बाद उसके नीचे गए जो भी स्टेटमेंट्स है वो सारे के सारे एग्जीक्यूट हो गए. सिर्फ if और else इन दोनों कंडीशन में से कोई एक एग्जीक्यूट होगा, राइट? सो हियर इट इज गिवन इफ else if ladder is used to check multiple condition at a time only one condition is true, if not then only else part is executed. so क्या दिया है, अगर if कंडीशन ट्रू हुई तो वो चला जाएगा if के ब्लॉक में, वो एग्जीक्यूट होने के बाद वो else में नहीं जाएगा. else के बाद जो भी लिखे हैं स्टेटमेंट कर्ली ब्रेसेस के बाद वो सारी एग्जीक्यूट हो गए, राइट? सो वी विल सी व्हाट example is given for if else. So here you can see directly I am moving to the script given, variable a comma b, again there is a semicolon, a equal to prompt enter your value, then b equal to parseInt, same is given. Now here only two conditions are given, one condition is given what different, if b modulus 2 equal to 0. Now here I am checking for the remainder. मतलब क्या चेक कर रहे हैं हम, अगर कोई नंबर को 2 से डिवाइड किया तो उसका जो रिमाइंडर है वो अगर ज़ीरो आया तो क्या होता है, दैट नंबर इज कम्प्लीटली डिविजिबल बाय 2. एग्री? सो इट बिकम्स एन इवन नंबर. अगर कोई रिमाइंडर रह रहा है तो वो क्या होता है, ऑड नंबर. सो यहाँ पे हम इवन ऑड चेक कर रहे हैं, तो ऑब्वियसली नो नंबर कैन बी इवन एज वेल एज ऑड. एग्री? सो अगर इफ कंडीशन ट्रू आई तो वो क्या प्रिंट करेगा, नंबर इज इवन. अगर इफ कंडीशन फॉल्स आई तो वो क्या होगा, एल्स में चला जाएगा और एल्स में जो भी दिया है वो डिस्प्ले करेगा, राइट? सो सपोज मैंने नंबर एंटर किया 6, तो वो क्या दिखेगा, इफ 6 मॉड्यूलस 2 इक्वल टू 0. येस, इज इट? येस, ट्रू. सो क्या आएगा, नंबर इज इवन विल बी डिस्प्लेड, राइट? अगेन आई एम रनिंग द प्रोग्राम एंड आई एम इनपुटिंग number as 5. So it will check if 5 मॉड्यूलस 2 इज इक्वल टू 0 है क्या, ट्रू नहीं, फॉल्स है, रिमाइंडर आता है तो वो चला जाएगा एल्स में, एंड इट विल प्रिंट नंबर इज ऑड। समझ में आया? तो इफ़ अगर फॉल्स आता है तो ही वो एल्स में जाएगा, इफ़ अगर ट्रू आता है तो वो एल्स में नहीं जाएगा। उसके नीचे जो भी स्टेटमेंट्स है वो सारे एग्जीक्यूट होंगे, सिर्फ एल्स ट्रू हो सकता है, मतलब एल्स रन होगा या इफ रन होगा, दोनों एट ए टाइम कभी भी रन नहीं होंगे। राइट? आई होप इट इज़ क्लियर। सो दिस इज ऑल फॉर टुडेज लेक्चर। I have given assignment. You can write down these assignment question answers in your assignment notebook. What is the first question? What is a user defined function? What is the syntax to define a function? We have already seen. Then second, what is an event handling? Describe different events in JavaScript. And third, what are decision making statements? Explain any two. So today in our lecture we have seen only two types of decision making, that is if and if else. Now the remaining decision making statements are the part of your 12th standard. So from next lecture onward we will be starting with the actual advanced JavaScript. So before moving to the advanced, make sure that your basic concepts are very clear. I have taken all the concepts in very basics and in depth from your 11th standard. So first revise everything and make the basic clear, then we can move to the advanced, because until and unless your basics are clear, your advanced concepts, you are going to face difficulties. So this should not happen. Okay, so that is all for today's lecture. Thank you.